Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk. This is your breaking news show hosted by myself. Joining me on the show today, we have the Avengers Assemble. We've got a full squad for you lot. We've got Spider Sam. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right with that one. I was like, who's he gonna pick me? I was like, please don't pick the one I don't like. But yeah, I'm all right.
Good stuff. We've also got, wait for it, Captain Ad America. How are you doing, sir?
It's terrible.
These are the
terrible.
worst
They were
puns
terrible. That was
This is
terrible.
all
That's
this is
terrible.
all I've got, mate. This is all I've got.
It's terrible.
Adam?
I'm doing good. How are you, Nick? Blended by that beard.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I'm going to pretend it's not frothing over the thing and going on the table.
I'm going. Fuck you.
Yeah, I've tried my hardest to think of a superhero put on Severe's name, and let me tell you, it was fucking impossible. But
You could have had Captain America Civil War. You could have had that.
Yeah, I was thinking Civil War, but that's not a superhero, is it? Oh, no, you don't get the credit for that.
Yeah, you do. Fucking yes.
I have that, but that isn't a superhero, so I can't say. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be like knitted together. So I couldn't think of one, but not to worry. Everyone knows Severe's got a super power anyway. Do you know what that is?
Marshall FC president.
Looking 20 years younger than his actual age.
Oh, fair.
Fucking beautiful. I love it. How are you doing, Severe?
I'm good.
What's Sam? What did you say before?
I think I'll probably fit in with X-Men because that's like my mutant.
Yeah.
I was looking
He's
at
Wolverine.
X-Men.
He's Wolverine, isn't he? He just doesn't age.
Exactly.
Like he's just forever young.
Yeah. Right, on today's show, a lot of stuff to fucking discuss, let me tell you. It's been quiet. It's literally been a quiet week, and then in the past couple of days, in typical Man United fashion, we leak more than Old Trafford. You can't write the irony. It's mental. We've had a reported bid from a consortium going, to the club. We're going to iron out details on that in due course. A source close to Harry Maguire, e.g. Harry Maguire, has been talking to ESPN about his form over the past 12 months and who's to blame. And if you thought that was it, there's also some quotes from Richard Arnold and John Murtaugh about the financial situation and the future of the club. So if you're new to the channel and you want to join the ever-growing community, please click that subscribe button and like the video. We're on the road to 1,000 subs, and we can only do it with your help. I really need to burp.
Nice.
Let me tell you, lads, if fucking Carlsberg did intros, that is it. Let's start off with the takeover bid. There's been a lot of talk over the past 6 months in regards to obviously the takeover of Manchester United. We've had rumours that Michael Knighton was bringing forward a consortium. Then we had big news, as we all remember. Jim Ratcliffe came out that his side was interested in buying United. And we've also had American companies who have signalled interest in a potential stake in the club. But yesterday, Tony O'Neill, who's part of the Webby and O'Neill show on YouTube, who's got good connections within Manchester United, said on his YouTube channel he's heard from a good source that there is another consortium made up of 5 people from around the world who are putting forward a proposal to United for 26% of the club, potentially rising to 51%. As far as we know or have been told, a confirmed offer has gone in. The 26% has been valued around £1 billion. So United have asked for proof of funds from this consortium, and that's what they have provided. Now, there's been mention of a fan ownership. I don't know the finer details, of course, because I'm not involved in it, but I can't really imagine someone slinging billions of money to the fans for nothing. So I think it is a kind of business interest as well, but we'll see what happens with the fan side. A meeting with the Glazers and the consortiums being organised, and that meeting will go ahead in due course sooner than people think. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe, as it stands, is not involved in the deal, but the consortium are planning to meet with his team as well to discuss potential business. There will be communication with the fans once the consortium has spoken to the Glazers and find out if this is a potential deal that can be done. But it's thought that full ownership would be difficult to negotiate due to the price of the club. When you start looking into these Class A, Class B shares, I'm not sure if any of you guys have gone into it. It's a minefield that I don't completely understand how it works. I'll leave that to the geezer who goes on Good Morning Britain, that financial advisor. I really don't understand how it all works. But in all, when it comes to it, progress is being made. And in my personal opinion, if there's a world where a consortium can come together with the fans, raise enough funds to buy the club, or at least have a major stake in the club, that can only be a positive. But it depends who these people are, what they have in mind, and what they have in mind for renovation, development, all that kind of stuff. To sum up, it's a step in the right direction, but I'm eager to hear your guys' thoughts So with that in mind, I'm going to throw some questions to you. Sam, I want to start off with yourself. Obviously, as a fan base, we want the Glazers fully gone. There's no denying that. I think I speak for most of the fan base when I say that. This 26%, however, would mean they still have overall authority. Does this feel like a pat on the shoulder and a kick in the nuts at the same time? You think?
I think it's a plan. If it is true, if this is legit and they're not like, I know a lot of people when Chelsea went up for sale, a lot of people were like, "Oh, we're interested," put bids in, then it found out they didn't actually have the capital or the money to do so. So I think if it is legit and this is all like above board and stuff like that, I think this is the only way to wrestle control away from the Glazers. I think you have to do it step by step. I think if you wanted to do it all in one go, you're going to have to offer him double what the club's worth. You're going to have to, let's say if the club's worth, 4.5 billion, that's what they valued it at, you could have to offer him 9 billion, I think, if you wanted total control like that immediately. And nobody's going to offer him 9 billion. Like, it's not happening. So I think the way to do it is, they need money, they're hemorrhaging money, so they need some money. So I think that's the way to do it, is to buy piece by piece, slowly build your portfolio and eventually get control. However, I think, is the £1 billion that they're putting, is that what the share value is, or is that what they're offering to get the shares? Do we know?
I think that's what they're offering. I think.
Right. Because if that's what the shares are valued at and that's what they're giving, I don't think it's going to happen, because I think the Glazers are going to want way above market value for those shares. So if they're offering,
if it's 25%, that's a quarter, isn't it? So
Yeah.
if it's 1 billion, you would think, well, then they're going to sell the club for 4 billion. But
Yeah.
again, it's that fucking
yeah,
minefield of
financial. Like, I don't understand it. I'm not an accountant. I don't work in finances. So I've got no idea how it actually works. But I'm hoping they've paid, because the only way you're going to get it is paying above market value. So that's the only way you're going to get it. So I'm hoping they are paying above market value to take this 26% they're wanting?
Yeah.
And then leading to 51%. But if this is the way it's going to go, it's going to take a long, long time to get there, because I don't imagine the Glazers are going to sell 26 and then next year sell another 26%. Like, I don't think that's happening. I think it's going to be a long process if we're doing it this way. So be prepared to be patient, be prepared to take the time, and we're going to be with the Glazers for a long, long while. Yeah, it's not going to be in the next year or two for any amount of things. So yeah, it's a little bit disappointing, but again, some progress is better than no progress, I suppose, and that's kind of how you got to look at it at this point.
Yeah, patience feels like a reoccurring theme with United at the minute in all aspects, but we'll see what happens with that. Survey, we've had a variety of potential suitors come forward, especially in the last kind of 6 months. But for you personally, as a United fan, what would be the ideal situation in terms of a takeover for you?
My ideal takeover scenario would be just one owner, like Jim Ratcliffe, or one group. To be honest with you, I don't like the sound of this at all. The 5 people from around the world, we don't know who they are. They contacted Fan Channel. Like when I heard about this earlier, I didn't really do any research into it just yet because I was at work. And then when I had a bit of time, I first went, I checked. It's not reported anywhere, like the Guardian, Times, nobody. It's like this. It's all come from this guy, this Fan Channel, Webby and O'Neill. They've been there for some time. They have their credibility and they know the players and they've been involved with the team. But then it just strikes me like the devil is better than the devil you don't know. I don't like this whole mystery thing. Man City is owned by the Qatar family or whatever. Newcastle is owned by the Saudi family. Liverpool is owned by Fenway Sports. Chelsea is owned by Todd Boehly. That's how it should be. I don't want this. Who are these guys? And then why do they go through a fan channel first? Then there's too many. There's 5 of them. Then they want to get Jim Ratcliffe involved. It just sounds too disorganized. Everyone's gonna have their own individual interests. and then they're fronting with this whole thing about fan ownership, and it's too calculated. There's too much jizz. There's too much like it's like the perfect. They're trying to go through the fans, and basically I just don't like the way it sounds. I'd prefer it if it was just one owner. If they were organized, why don't you talk to Jim Ratcliffe first, or talk to whoever you want to talk to, then come as a group, and then say this is what we want to do, and then don't go to a fan channel. Go to like a regular news. I mean, if you must, release it, go to like a proper news outlet.
Go to
What if you wanted to brief it though? Like if you wanted to put it out there just to get a kind of a signal from the fans how they feel about it before you actually put it out there. What if you leak it like they have done with this Webby O'Neill? What if they say like just put it out, see what they say, just to kind of register where people are at with that kind of bid?
You have got fan options though. You've got Must, which is the Man United Supporters Trust, who are a recognised legit organisation, and they're the ones that were fighting for the fan share scheme that the Glazers promised and didn't deliver on. So you have recognised outlets that you could have used, like to Saveer's point.
Exactly. And then why do you even need to, like, if you want to buy the club, just buy the club. Like, what? No one asks anyone, nobody asks anyone's fans if they want to do stuff. Just buy the club and we will see how genuine you are. You don't have to get our validation or whatever. Just buy the club. It strikes me like they don't really have a defined goal.
Let me just come at you with that. You don't need the fans' validation to buy the club. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Why?
Did Roman Abramovich ask? Nah, Roman Abramovich didn't ask anyone before he bought Chelsea. He bought it, and he's probably one of the most hands-on owners in football that we've seen. And the Chelsea fans love him. So you don't have to try and come in through the whole, emotional or the whole passion, the romantic angle. Just have a plan. This is what we want to do. The fans will get on board regardless. Well, not regardless, but if you really are, passionate about the club, we will understand that and we'll buy into it. You don't have to, come and win us with, try and get some fan power with Webby and O'Neill, or with YouTubers.
I feel like it's a situation now at the minute, but obviously we've had 17 years of the Glazers when it's just been absolutely diabolical, and the United fans are that kind of desperate and sensitive now. We kind of take any new owners just to get rid of him. Like we've been so desperate to get rid of him for such a long time. As soon as we hear any kind of news about it, we're like, yeah, bring him in. But I think because of that sensitivity and because we don't want another 15, 17 years, there needs to be big communication with the fans, the fan base, I feel like, before... like you said, it could be a consortium made up of 5 people who go in. These 5 people are the exact same as the Glazers. They're just in it for a business interest. So there needs to be communication there, I believe.
Well, this is the thing. Well, that, like you said, we've experienced 17 years of the Glazers. We're really vulnerable right now. Anyone can come in with. That's why people like Michael Knighton or whatever his name is can feel confident to put in a bid or feel confident to try and win the fans. I think we should actually be very, very careful what we wish for. Maybe they're legit. I don't know. I just don't like the way they're coming at this whole thing. It's too disorganized. There's no real. I don't know. I just don't like the way it sounds. I prefer it done the proper way. I'm not a risk taker, personally. I like to play it safe. And I just prefer. I just don't like the sounds of it. Just come in like everyone else. Put a proper bid in. Yeah. When the Qatar family bought City, sorry, is it the Qataris who own City?
I thought it was. I know it's. Is it Mansour who
but
the CEO
Qatar
of the
group.
actual Qatar group? I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
They own PSG. They have connections to PSG as well because it's a similar family. I think they're related or whatever it is. I think.
Show the money, come in like everyone else, buy the club. If you're genuine, we're with you. Don't try and sneak through the back door or try and, buy our support and stuff like that. Try and appeal to. Just come in and do your thing, and then, we'll be behind you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Adam, I want to bring you in this because I'd like to hear your opinion. Where do you stand with this bid from the consortium? Does it excite you? Are you a bit like similar to Severe? Where you like just be careful what you wish for? That kind of vibe.
I was going to say, better the devil you know than the devil you don't, and it does seem very disorganized. Like going through a fan channel, that's how it was announced, and it wasn't like not like attacking a fan channel or that. It wasn't the biggest one, let's just say, with the biggest audience. It was like kind of a more lesser kind of known one. So they obviously went to them. I think it was announced in a video on Hotel Football, was it? And it had no connections to any footballers who were like associated with Hotel Football. So that rules out Gary Neville in this at all as well.
Yeah, none of the class of '92, I don't believe, are involved in this.
No, and one of them refused to kind of rule out Rio Ferdinand, though. So you never know. But yeah, we don't know who these 5 people are. These 5 kind of, in the group. Maybe there could be east, far west, maybe. It could be like hopefully nothing kind of where was looking for was it the Arab Emirates? I think
again, I can't remember. It was it a sovereign fund or something like that? It was
I don't want that. I really don't want that.
Yeah.
And maybe one of them is part of that, and you never know. If you own a certain percentage of the shares, you're allowed to do a full takeover. You're allowed to bid for a full takeover. And what's to say that you're not going to have 5 people clawing to get full control of the club then, and it goes into a mess then. Yeah. So we don't know what the story is fully.
Yeah, it's 5 people from around the world. This is what they say.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like
stinks of a business interest, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just like different people had a Zoom call. Let's go and buy United.
I think we're going to see more of these though, because clearly this is the most vulnerable time the Glazers have ever had while being at the club. Like, we've not seen this interest since they took over the club, like takeover wise and stuff like that. They are very, very vulnerable right now. So I think you're going to see a lot more of these bids, a lot more of interest, all this sort of stuff. I won't be surprised if a Saudi or a Qatari or an Abu Dhabi sort of sovereign fund came in either. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if that happened.
Well, that's
one of the 5.
Sorry, Adam, I'll come to you in a second. That's the danger, because to be honest, we can discuss all these consortiums, Jim Ratcliffe, all that, but ultimately the Glazers are just going to sell to the highest bidder. So whoever puts in the most money, because they're businessmen, they'll just sell to them. So we kind of have no control over that anyway, to a certain extent. If they sell, that's even by the sounds of it and by everything that's coming out, they only want to sell like a small percentage because they're quite low on funds at the minute. Sorry, Adam, what was you going to say then?
I was just going to say, kind of further the point, we don't know who these people are around the world. It wouldn't surprise me if you've had someone from the Middle East. Could be links to China. There's a big fan base in China. Someone might see marketing event that they could run over there in China, because let's be honest, like, we are a brand at the end of the day, and probably one of the biggest sporting brands in the world. So put that in the Chinese market even more, and it'll explode a lot more. So yeah, you don't know who these 5 people are around the world as well, because that's the key point to set from around the world. So it's not just like, European based. It probably is American, could be Middle Eastern, China, everywhere. And it just seems very disorganized for me, it does.
And just as a general question to all 3 of you, do you see a world in the next 12 to 18 months where it seems like we're starting a new chapter, or we do get someone taking over slightly, whether that's 26%, eventually going up to 51%? Are we hopeful at all?
Full ownership, no. I don't see anybody taking over completely. I think in 12, 18 months, Glazers are still in charge. Whether they sell off a piece of it, like 20-odd%, that I could see that happening possibly, but I don't see Glazers relinquishing full control in the next year or 2 at all.
See it happening either, especially when the club is on the up football-wise. So we have Erik ten Hag, and it looks like we're actually getting better. We might be challenging for trophies, whatever, even if it's the Carling Cup or the FA Cup. If we start to look better, we win 1 trophy, or we're back on there. I don't think the Glazers will want to sell. They'll probably want to stay on and hold on to power. And has any one of you watched The Wire?
Yes, I'm the only one. Only one. Nobody's watched it.
Yeah. Do you remember?
And I watched the first season and I didn't like it.
It's fantastic. It's the best show.
Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember at the end, after like Prop Joe is dead and everyone's dead, and then
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, all of it. Yeah, sorry.
Mate, it's 20 years old at this
When-
point. Come on.
It's
Like,
20 years old, yeah.
yeah.
When, basically, these guys lose their connect,
Yeah.
and then like 6 or 7 of them drug dealers are trying to put money together, and they're trying to get people to, let's all put this money together, and and go buy a new shipment. This is what it sounds like to me. Just a bunch of people coming together. Yeah, we'll get Jim Ratcliffe. And I know the fans would love to hear that as well. Yeah, we're going to offer fan ownership. Yeah, the fans love to hear that as well. It just seems, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Severe's
I
not
don't
just
think
got...
the Glazers. Sorry, go on. I don't think the Glazers will sell to these guys at all. And I think we'll still be under Glazer rule.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Severe's not just got unbelievable skincare routine, he's also got the wire analogies for you as well, so double package.
He's got the wire analogies to an audience of 1. It's just me.
Yeah. But you never know. Never know to people watching.
Never know,
Maguire fans. Adam, just finally on this Glazer topic, do you want to give us your thoughts on that, where you see the next kind of 12 to 18 months? Are you positive? Are you hopeful? Like, how are you feeling about it?
A full takeover, probably not. No, they're going to come in, maybe get the 26%, but I think they're just going to ride that out, and I do think we are going to be successful as well, as long as we continue down the path we're kind of going. And if anything, that just puts the share price up even more, so it's costing this consortium or who else wants to take over, they're going to have to spend more to actually do a full takeover. So it's going to be, you're going to see barriers pop up, a lot more barriers over the next maybe couple of months. And then if the fans kind of continue to, if the pressure kind of dies down on current owners, they won't want to sell. I don't think they will. They'll just be happy where they are.
They have to do something in terms of bringing money in, because their bank is empty. Like Gary Neville's and all the pundits and other people close to Manchester United have said that numerous times. Their bank is empty. They're running on low. The stadium needs redevelopment. The training ground needs updating. It's a lot of investment needs to go into it, probably about £1 billion, and I can't see the Glazers doing that. So they will sell some of it off, bring in money like that, and then continue on, I imagine, and continue to take dividends, which I am going to touch on a little bit later. But I want to move on to the next story. Go from maybe a bit of a positive to a bit of a negative. People in the comment section, let me know what you think about these Maguire quotes. There's been a lot of opinions thrown out as Twitter as per. So I'll just dive into it. A source close to Harry Maguire has been speaking to ESPN, Mark Ogden. And if you haven't seen the Gene Snitsky spoof that I put out before on Twitter, please check it out. It's an absolute banger. I don't want to blow me on trumpet, but absolutely spot on. A source close to Harry Maguire, he says Harry needs pace around him, but he hasn't had that. If you put Ruben Diaz in the United defence and Harry in the City back four, Diaz would struggle and Harry would thrive. Harry hasn't had a good 12 months, but he hasn't been helped by those around him, coaches or players, so it's inevitable that his confidence and form have suffered. And sources say Maguire's frustrations with David De Gea's communication and reluctance to defend further away from his goal line were a factor in the overall malice in defence last season. Who wants to go first on this?
I'll go. Just preempt it with source according to him. So we don't know if he said this. Like, we don't know if he's actually said this. So it's based on ESPN, who've got a sketchy history at best with stuff. So assuming this is true and it's not something made up, or it's not somebody who doesn't actually know Harry Maguire and is just putting shit out there, assuming it is true, it's a pretty shitty statement to put out as a club captain, to throw your own team and your own teammates under the bus like that just because you're not playing. And the reason you're not playing is because through your own fault, because you've not been good enough, you've not played well enough, and the manager's not selected you. And when a manager doesn't select you as a captain, especially as a captain, you need to respect the manager's decision and just work hard to get back in the team. Don't slag your teammates and chuck them under the bus. Don't be saying, I'm playing for England and I did it. Like, just get your head down and work hard. I think Victor Lindelof, he's not played even like as much as Harry Maguire has, and we've not heard a peep out of him. He's not said shit.
Yeah,
said nothing. I assume he's working hard in training and he's doing some stuff, and he's working hard to get back in the team. Luke Shaw, not heard a peep out of him. He's been dropped by for Malaysia. Not heard a peep out of him. Not heard anything said from him. So, again, if it is true, as a Manchester United captain, it's a really stupid thing to do. He has got a history of saying stupid shit. So let's not be shocked by if this is real, that is come out. He has said stupid shit on camera before. Remember the Andorra game, he's putting his fingers in his ears after he scored. He was saying about the reason he must be really good, or he must be performing well because every manager's picked him, ignoring the fact that he was £80 million and he was named Manchester United captain 6 months after he got here. So yeah, if it is true, it's a really shitty thing to say, and it's not a sort of behaviour of a captain, especially of Manchester United, that I would expect. I'd expect a lot better. And I think this might sign his way out of Manchester United. I think this might be the start of him trying to get his way out of Manchester United. Probably not January, but maybe the next summer.
Survey, I know you're a measured man. What was your first initial thoughts when you saw these quotes come out?
I'm not jumping on Harry Maguire's back on this one. I have to question Mark Ogden's motives of releasing this at this time. It's an international break. There's no news on Manchester United. Let's put out a story. That's one. Two, context is everything. You could be answering a question in such a way, and you'd have a quote taken out of it. And when it's put in the news, it sounds like that was, it sounds like you led with that question. It could be a simple thing as Ogden asking this source, "Oh, why do you think Harry Maguire wasn't, or it might be part of an answer to a question that wasn't even completely related to that." This is how journalists work. They take things out of context and frame it as if this is what the main juice of this. The conversation could have been something completely different, but you take that little piece and make it seem like that's what was initially said.
Can I throw two questions to you? And then I'll let you carry on your point.
Yeah.
The first one is, why hasn't he come out and said anything about it? If that was the case, and he didn't say that, and that they weren't his quotes, why has he not come out publicly and said, "I did not say that. I don't have them feelings or thoughts, whatever." I'm not saying he has to do that. He can just sit quiet, but it's quite a big story. And then the second thing is it out of the realms of possibility, the things that have come out from that quote? What you're saying about De Gea? No,
it's not out of the realms of possibility, and that's one. Two, these aren't Harry Maguire's quotes. This is someone close to him, right? Now, to answer your first question, I don't know why he hasn't come out. Maybe he's been advised not to, because he comes out, it drags on longer.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yeah, he comes out, it drags on longer. Harry Maguire has always had I know his mom's on Twitter, and his brother, and they always kind of respond to people criticizing Harry Maguire. And let's not forget, this guy was probably the most abused person on Twitter.
Oh, he was with Ronaldo.
He was the most abused. Yeah, mate, if everyone keeps coming at you, I know for a fact my sister, people will come out to defend him. Do you understand? So someone has to speak up for him. He has his reasons. I'm not trying to say, I'm not siding Harry Maguire here. Yeah, but I'm not jumping on his back. What this news has been trending for 2 days now, because of, for a day, I think. And it's perfect for Mark Ogden. It's perfect for ESPN to get their ratings, to get their, So why has he waited till there was a break to release it? Because every time there's a break, this is why I hate breaks. Something comes, well, we thought we got rid of Pogba. Pogba's gone. Now Harry Maguire is the new person to, for leaks. And so I have to question Ogden's motives for releasing the story at this time. It definitely was in his own selfish interest and in the interest of ESPN. There's no footballer that doesn't have any reservations about players on his team. There's absolutely no footballer who's just happy to go to work and is friends with everyone. Everyone has reservations. But when you release it in a certain way, and then everyone, because Harry Maguire is the flavor now of everyone would like to attack him and all that. So I'm not jumping on his back. Maybe he said those things, but it was not him, it was someone else. I don't know. I'm not buying into it. I just question the motives of why he thought it was a good time to release the story like this. Because there's literally nothing in the news now.
This is why I love having you on the show, because it brings different perspective. Football's all about opinion. It's all about how you feel. And yeah, I agree with most of the points he was making there. Adam, how do you feel about these quotes that have come out? Because I know Maguire has annoyed you in the past. You said some strong words about him. Yeah, what was
He's taking proactive steps to actually. He's the most proactive person to get rid of Harry Maguire.
Yeah, he was the source. He's the one.
Right.
Yeah.
The source goes
Yeah,
to
well,
Maguire, Adam Gray.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're here every day saying, get him out the club. Adam actually took proactive steps to actually take a P45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get this guy out. Yeah.
He filled it out. He filled it out for him and everything. He filled his information in. Yeah.
I mean, you actually can't do more if you tried to get a player out of the club than signing a P45 and leaving it on his fucking where he sits in the dressing room. Like, what more can you do? With that in mind, Adam, how do you feel about the quotes?
Yeah, I think Survey made a good point there. You got to question the timing of it, and that comes straight down to the journalist at the end of the day. And look, this season I put my hands up and I said when he hasn't played too bad, I said he hasn't done anything wrong. I even highlighted key areas where I thought he played well. In the Sociedad game, I thought he spread the ball really well to the wide areas. But
why is that funny? Why is that funny?
I've got that Gene Snitsky thing in my head.
Okay.
That's why I started laughing. It's always when Adam's talk. Sorry, Adam. I feel fucking rude for that. Apologies. Go on.
But yeah, like this sort of story shouldn't really be coming out for a captain as well. He should be taking it by the scruff and actually, nipping it in the bud before it comes out. Yeah.
No, Nick, there's nothing there.
Whoa. No, there is.
There is.
Because there is, because he said, right, he thought rather than nip it in the bud, he actually genuinely thought, he said it on the show, it would nip it in the butt.
Yeah.
And me and Sam had to go,
what?
What did you say? Just rewind that back a little bit if you can for us.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he has to nip it in the butt.
The clip is on our Instagram. If you go check it out, it's on Instagram.
I apologize.
But yeah, sorry, Adam, again.
Yeah, captains should be shutting this sort of stuff down before it even comes out, because I don't know what the legal ramifications of it are, but like if someone's to release a big story like that, surely an agent would be informed about it. So I can't imagine it just being thrown out there like that. He has to take personal responsibility. This is if it's true. He has to take personal responsibility and quit blaming everyone else. You're the captain of this club. You have to be playing at a different level than everyone else. You have to inspire people. He doesn't do that. I do think it, as you pointed out, I do think it's the way for him to kind of leave the club. All this stuff is going to go on, I think, for the next full season. I think it will. And as Via said as well, it's like the next Pogba again. But you have to question the timing of it, because like right on an international break, when there is no news relating to Manchester United, what generates clicks? Manchester United always generates clicks. Who is the most criticised player at Manchester United right now? It's Harry Maguire. So there's your news story.
Raiola used to do it.
Too, but
didn't Raiola used to do it all the time? International break, and he'd put a story out about Pogba because he knew the journalists had nothing to talk about, so they'd just jump on the story and get sort of Pogba's name out there.
I just looked in the comments there. Zoe Media TV said, I agree, Mark Ogden was one of the journalists that Sir Alex banned from press conferences back in the day.
Very interesting.
I've never liked him.
I think he could be one of the few that Ferguson said, like if you're going to misquote me, I think it could have been relating to him as well. So he has it in the past maybe of misquoting people as well. So yeah, we got to wait and see. I think if he didn't say it, you should come out publicly and say it. That's just how I feel. We've seen it happen with footballers too before. It's better to just quit the rumor there. We saw Ronaldo come out and say a lot of it was bull crap, and we're still waiting for this interview, so we get to see about that.
That interview's disappeared quick, hasn't it?
Yeah, I love it when Fergie said, "Your job as a journalist is to tell the truth. And you're not doing that. And all the journalists just in the room like, oh shit.
They just be like,
roasted.
Just be like, you out.
Don't do it, but
Yeah, a lot of journalists felt the wrath of Fergie, definitely. And I think Ten Hag's similar, to be fair. And a lot of them, he's kind of just like, nonsense, mate. Give you one word answers, piss off.
Yeah.
I love his
one Sky Sports guy.
Oh yeah, the guy chasing down. He's like, it's not good, Eric, getting your bodyguard to touch me like this in front of Sky Sports cameras and stuff. He was like, right, whatever. And then he was trying to ask a question. He was like, next one, please. I'm not acknowledging you, mate. No thanks.
Yeah, he's ignoring him.
Yeah. For myself with Maguire, this isn't the only thing. If it was just like a one-off and it was just like quotes that came out randomly, I'd be like, okay, well maybe we need to do a bit. We do need to do a bit of digging into it, and maybe he does need to come out and say something. But there's been a few things Maguire has done. I don't believe a captain or even a Man United captain, especially, should be doing. I remember when we lost to Sheffield 2-1, I think it was, and he put out his passing stats on his Twitter. Things like that, like a United captain shouldn't do. When the media asked him about his bad form, I think Sam alluded to it before. Well, the coaches wouldn't be picking me if I was playing bad. Just the quotes that are coming out now, his body language in interviews and stuff, like his demeanour, it just doesn't sit right with me at all. And I don't see... Look, every single player at United is in the same boat. Do you know what I mean? We've had a fresh coach come in, fresh manager, sorry, with fresh coaches, fresh ideas. It's a new kind of setting now at Manchester United. And people have kicked on. Rashford looks different. Scott McTominay, of all people, look different. He's the exact same player. He hasn't performed well at all. He's had games where he's been like, okay, he's been all right, but he hasn't had a game where he's absolutely stood out like a captain should.
The attitude's different. The attitude's different as well. All the players in the United team, their attitude's different. Like, if you look at the way Dalot is on the pitch now, he's fired up. He's fucking like celebrating blocks and stuff, Leacher, all that sort of stuff. Anytime you see Harry Maguire do it on the pitch, he's kind of, he mops the curtains out of his face and he sort of looks down. And his whole attitude and demeanour doesn't scream Man United captain. Like, it doesn't like,
yeah.
He's not...
And you can have different kind of captains. Gary Neville was a different captain to Roy Keane.
Yeah.
But it's about setting the standards day in, day out. He is not setting the standards. He's not United quality.
No.
I don't care what anyone says. He is not Manchester. He could probably play for, an half decent team and do well, given the right system. But this all kind of blaming it on little things like the fucking shit, like wind in the state. You know what I mean? Like, just it's petty to me. And he's got no excuse. Ultimately, it's down to what he is doing on the pitch. And he shouldn't be Man United captain. I think he should just relinquish it at this point, to be honest.
And do you know what's funny as well? He'll be the starting centre back for England in the World Cup.
Probably, but Southgate goes with his trustees, his boys, doesn't he? He picks his favourites. He says he doesn't have favourites, but he's full of shit. Again, another general question to you lot. Where does his future lie at the club, do you think? I know we did a tier list yesterday. Check it out if you haven't seen it, guys.
Needs to go. Like, he probably won't go in January. He won't go...
Disrespect.
He won't go in January, but I think he needs to go next summer. He needs to go because I think he's become untenable with his comments. He's not the captain. Like, he is in name only because Bruno's had more games as captain than he has, and he's done better with it. So I think, summertime he needs to go. We're going to take a loss on him, but for me, he has to go.
I think this is the perfect opportunity to make some money. The only reason I'm selling him is just so we can make some money off him. Because to be honest, if there's a reason why Pep Guardiola and Jose Mourinho wanted Harry Maguire, they saw something in him. I'm not saying I'm not backing him or anything, but guys, it's easy to pile on him now. Like, he's an easy target for everyone.
But he's done it to himself. It's not like we're piling on him.
He has to take... I agree. He has to take responsibility for this, because if you look at the track record of the things he's said, it's consistent to what he's saying now. But I think it's a perfect opportunity. I think his head is kind of not a United anymore. So
huge.
Let's make some money off him, honestly, because... Bro, we need money. We need to raise money. He's one of them ones that we can sell. We can still put a bit of English tax on him.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get 45, 50 M's, sell him, hopefully, and then get him on the squad. Yeah, because he's not he doesn't fit our system. He's not mobile enough. He doesn't have recovery pace, and this is what Ten Hag likes in his, because he has, we play a high line. There's absolutely no way he's catching anyone.
We've seen it. We saw it.
Half a step.
We saw it when
yeah.
Ralph tried to play a high line. We saw it time and time again. He got caught out every single time. I think Nick's got a highlight video of it. It's just like about 18 times during the season. He just got absolutely rinsed by not even world class players. It was like players like Broja from fucking Southampton.
I seen fucking Weghorst drop deep and twist him and turn him, and Weghorst is like a bus, and he just outdone him.
Have you forgotten what James Rodriguez did to Harry Maguire?
James Rodriguez. Oh yeah, Jay Rodriguez. That's why I confused. I was thinking James Rodriguez.
Sorry, Jay.
Yeah.
I say James James Rodriguez. I was like, what?
No. Jay.
Jay Rodriguez. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So anyway, to answer your question, sorry, I went on a long one there. I hope we sell him. I hope he leaves.
Yeah. I do any to ask this question, or is it rhetorical?
Well, I better dust that P45 off and all the abuse because I'm handing it to him next summer. I'm in Manchester too.
Yeah. Watch out! You're getting your P45. Yeah. For me, just the last point on Maguire I want to make. I feel like it's the two players he's had beef with. Yeah, since he's been here, pretty much, or since they've arrived, is Cristiano Ronaldo and David De Gea. And what do they have in common? They're the only two players who've won
anything
at Manchester United, and he's got an issue with him. Now, obviously, he's trying to command some form of respect, which you would do as a captain, but you command respect with your performances.
Do you know what?
And if you're consistent.
Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if he had a problem with Casemiro at some point.
Yeah.
5 Champions League.
He's had an issue with fucking Casemiro, who's like won everything there is in the game, but he's having a go at him.
He's got trophies and I've not. I'm not happy.
Right. The last the last part of the show, we're going to discuss the quotes that have come out today from the United CEO Richard Arnold and football director John Murtough, and they've been talking about finances and the future of the club. Just a couple from Richard Arnold. He says, these aren't the exact quotes, by the way. I've just shortened them so I don't bore you all to death. He said, we have made important and necessary changes with a new manager and new players. We have a target to get back to the top. Our priorities is football, fans, facilities, and financials. Notice his use of alliteration there to try and get a bit of a pop. Most of it is lip service for now. We'll see what happens. That's me saying it, not him. We're committed to long-term investment in the stadium, but we'll have to be disciplined when it comes to capital plans. Everyone at the club is aligned on a clear strategy to deliver sustained success on the pitch and a sustainable economic model of it. And we believe the building blocks for future success are being put in place, but we acknowledge that there is still much more for us to do this season and beyond, and that success will not happen overnight. And then there's 2 quotes from Murtough I want to get into and get your thoughts. John Murtough says, there is still a long way to go, but we have already seen during his Ten Hag's first 4 months in charge an increased unity, focus and drive that bodes well for the future. Overall, and here's the big line, we are ahead of schedule in our recruitment plans as envisaged at the start of the summer, and we do not anticipate the same level of activity in future windows. As always, our planning focuses on the summer window. Who wants to go first on that? Do you buy it? Do you agree with some of the statements they're making there? Do you think it's all horseshit? Talk to me.
Richard Arnold's one, I don't buy a fucking word of it. Like, not a single word. There's no way we are investing in the stadium other than fucking painting it, which you saw what happened, and we ran out halfway across. It shows you this shite that we have to deal with at this club. We're not investing in the stadium. We're not investing in Carrington. That's not happening. We'll probably get a lick of paint somewhere or a new sign or something like that. That's not happening. On John Murtough, Severe made a good point in the chat about we won't see that amount of activity in a thing, and I think he sort of made, I'll let Severe make the point, but he made a really good point. I think we overspent obviously this summer because Ten Hag obviously demanded that we spend more money because obviously we spent a lot of time chasing De Jong. Sorry, Nick. So we ended up having to go out and get Casemiro, and then we overspent on Antony because the Gakpo and the situation, and Ajax jacking the price up all the time. So yeah, I don't believe any of it. I think they're using now the summer as an excuse not to spend in January, which we knew they were going to do anyway. We knew they weren't going to spend, and they're going to use some sort of excuse. Now they've got it. Next summer, again, we'll probably struggle and not be able to get the players that we want immediately. We'll overpay, and it'll go on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then we'll all be frustrated at the end. So it's going to be this rinse and repeat with these guys, and it's going to be the same until the Glazers are gone. I don't believe a fucking word of it.
So as you can see, guys, Sam has an extremely positive and vibrant view on the future for Manchester United. Adam, can you provide a different perspective, or do you agree with Sam? Basically, the point I'm asking, do you trust these guys going forward running the club?
No. It's so simple. No. Why would you trust these people when they've... I know they... Can you say they delivered this window? Because Sam didn't want to kind of push on to the point, but I said on the last show, we've overspent by like 70, 80 million. Easily. Especially we got a player in Casemiro who was not in the idea.
And we did it. Also,
of
sorry, Adam. We didn't get our number one target either that we knew about in May, and we didn't get him. So
we didn't. So we went with a B option. Look, not a bad B option, but does he fit the style? He's still adjusting to the style the manager wants to play. It was to appease fans because of the pressure. We were going for two, what for me, average players. At the time, we were going for Rabiot and Arnautovic. That's what the club were looking at.
Top
and
scorers,
then
yeah.
the only reason they shut that down was because of the uproar from the fans. That's the only reason it got shut down. And let's be honest, Rabiot's mother too. Like, oh, what a woman. But yeah. But no, I do not trust these people running the club, and I think if it could be, we could be in for a wild ride, especially with the ownership, like potential takeovers. Do the Glazers want to invest more money like they did this summer? Like from the club's kitty, if they can see themselves maybe going in another 12, 18 months after that? I don't think they will. I think they're just going to try and squeeze the club for every cent that they can get before they do run off, and maybe a couple of years it'll be. I think it's going to be years now, but they're the people that they put in charge of running the football side of things, and no, I don't trust them at all.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the decisions they made was fan pressure, wasn't it? The De Jong situation was an absolute nightmare. We got Casemiro to cover the cracks, and Arnautovic and Rabiot were two shocking deals that never should have gone through anyway. And then we ended up getting Antony because of peer pressure as well. We overpaid for most of our signings, and we only got 2 targets that Ten Hag initially wanted at the start of the window. So you can't say that's a success, and you can't say that's organised, and you can't say you've had a decent window regardless of how much you've spent. Surveyor, do you want to give us your thoughts on Murta and Richard Arnold going forward?
Yeah, I mean, with Richard Arnold, he's only saying what you expect him to say, basically.
Lip service, right?
Yeah, it's lip service. It's just, it's a script. Say it. That's what you expect from people like that to say. Obviously, you don't believe a word of it based on the track record. As far as John Murta was saying, I can understand where he's coming from. Like, we don't have that much money anymore. Like, we're literally, like, Richard Arnold said it when the fans ambushed him in that pub. We fucking burned through cash, is what he said.
Yeah.
Look how much we've spent on players so far, and there's nothing to show for it. Absolutely nothing. So, yeah, I'm not surprised. We're not going to be spending 200+ million pounds every summer. Like, it doesn't even sound right if we did that. We should get to a point, and we never, even when we were like at our highest points, over the summer, we were buying maybe 1-2 players. When we bought Berbatov, he was the only one. The last time we actually spent a lot when we were on top was when we had Nani, Anderson, Hargreaves, and Tevez come in, and it was like, and we all got them on like, good transfer price. It wasn't, we didn't splurge. It wasn't a splurge or anything. So I completely understand that we need to start making some money, hence selling Harry Maguire. If PSG come back for Rashford, I know he's been good, but if they come back for him, we need to talk.
I would have sold him this summer when they were offering 70 mil.
Yeah.
I would have been like, yeah, go See ya.
If they,
I disagree.
if they come back for him, we need. Let's talk. Let's sit down and see what we can do. So yeah, I don't see us spending that much money. That especially if we're not winning anything soon, winning any trophies. I want to see shrewd buys like Tyrell Malacia, like those kind of buys, like shrewd.
Eriksen.
This other players, Eriksen.
Yeah.
Look at Ajax now. Man. Next year we'll probably be back there in the summer trying to get that Kudus guy or Kenny Taylor or some. They've all of a sudden they have these amazing midfielders. I watched them play. I was like, are these the same guys that we literally just?
Should we just follow? Should we just follow their scouting department? Like, get our scouts and just follow them.
Please.
Just follow them because they clearly know what the fuck they're doing. They know who to buy. So it's like, why don't we do that?
They bought Anthony from Brazil for like what, 4 mil, something like that, some stupid amount. Yeah. So why do we always have to spend? Like Ralph Ragnick told us this. We can actually buy players, proper good players for good prices and not splurge. So yeah, we could. It's possible. We don't have to spend 200 million every year.
That leads me on to
one question though.
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, why can't we put in an offer for the scouts of Ajax? Why do we not have good scouts? Why? We're one of the biggest clubs in the world. Yeah, I saw over the summer we did let go of a few of them. Why haven't we brought the best of the best in? That's what we should be doing. And that's why I think a change needs to happen at the top. Someone who actually wants the best for the club, who is a fan at the end of the day as well, because they need to hire the best people. And we're giving people like Darren Fletcher a role who hasn't done anything academic related to his position as well. All he's done was, he played for us.
It's
Gary
as
Neville
well.
has as well, but we haven't offered him yet.
It wouldn't take, literally just go to the Ajax scouts and go, how much do you want? Literally, just like, here you go, there's a check, fucking come for United. It's literally, we could get him.
I'm glad you said that, Adam, because that's like my dream job, actually, to be a Man United scout, honestly, because you get to do fuck all. Travel. Honestly, it's like the best job in the world.
And then just go on Football Manager, just look up the thing and go, there you go.
Go to Brazil. Oh yeah, I heard about some players in Brazil. Yeah, go to Brazil, watch football, chill by the beach, come home. To me, it's nothing's gonna happen. We'll buy Jadon Sancho at the end of the day.
And also, you had to go through 700 different right backs and end up with
Wan-Bissaka.
Don't forget that.
I'd pay 50 million for him. 50 million. Sorry, Nick.
Are we finished? We done?
Sorry. This is what happens.
I was just going to say this. Yeah, it happens. I understand. It leads me on to my next point, actually, about the scouting system. You look at someone like Man City. They have an elite scouting system set up in South America. That's why Julian Alvarez is signed. That's why you've seen a lot of Brazilians come over, like Fernandinho, Gabriel Jesus, players like this. We need to set up a scouting. If I'm United now, I'm just setting a scouting system up in Portugal. There's a lot of young talents coming from there. I'm setting one up in France because France just seems to produce fucking A, B, C, D, E teams that could beat most teams. Like, their depth is fucking unreal. Just countries like this, set a decent scouting system up. It's not going to cost you. You look at how much you spent over players the past 10 years. It's not going to cost you nowhere near that much. Go on, Samir.
Words. Director of football. Simple. This all happened when they got Cheeky Bergeristan to come in. Like Man City, this is how they operate. Like, they have all this cash. Well, who's the best coach that we can ever get? Pep Guardiola. Just get him. Who's the best at making an academy and all? La Masia is one of the best academies in the world at Barcelona. Yeah, get the guy who runs it. Simple. They got him in and everything changed. Then they had that £200 million thing that was set up. And I remember hearing about that. And I remember when it was opened. And I just felt this thing, like, I was like, I don't like the sound of this. Like, I was hating. I was so jealous. I don't like the sound of this. Like, it doesn't. And then we were saying, oh, Carrington, we've installed new this and that. And I was like, man, we're going down. This is why we missed out on people like, look at all the youngsters coming through the City Academy now with Sancho, the kid who's just gone to Borussia Dortmund, Foden. So yeah, get a director of football to run things like this, like have a vision, because
you
we
see-
have there's no vision.
We spoke about Ajax as well, though. They've got that structure again. They got a director of football. They had Mark Overmars, and then they had Edwin van der Sar, and they've got the academy to set up to play the Ajax way. So when they get fed into the first team, it all comes together.
Yeah.
It's all
They knew
succinct.
exactly what they were doing.
Everything feeds into each other. They've got it spot on, and it doesn't cost. Like Ajax don't spend shit tons of money. They don't spend that. They ain't got.
No,
they're not a massive
they
cash
don't.
rich club. It doesn't cost them that much. So we're one of the rich. Well, we're one of the most biggest clubs in the world. We've got a huge cash reserve that obviously the Glazers like to pull out of every fucking year. We could do this. It's not hard to do. Like, it's very easy to do, and we've got the money to do it. I don't understand why we don't do it.
Just one more thing. The last thing I'll say before I shut up forever. We had we literally, it pisses me off, honestly. We signed someone to actually deliver, and then we sacked him before he could actually do what he was supposed to do with Ralf Ragnick. Forget what the coaching bit was not his main job. His main job was this whole consultancy thing, and this is what he has a proven track record in doing, and he's done it at 2 different clubs, and he was going to do it here. We literally just mugged him off.
Well, Romano said in regards to Ralf Ragnick, one of the main reasons why he was extremely pissed off was because they didn't go in for a striker in January, and he marked Vlahovic and Julian Alvarez as potential players that should bring in decent prices as well. And look how they're doing for their clubs, you know what I mean?
Did he have Nkunku as well on his list?
Yeah, he wanted Nkunku. Yeah, I'm a massive. He's one of my favourite players in Nkunku. I think he's unreal.
Lema, is it Lema or Lemia?
Conrad Lema.
Conrad Lema. 25 mil. 25 euros.
Yeah.
We could have had Nick. What was the guy you scouted when we did the director of football, the Italian? He played for Inter.
Bastone.
No. He begins with a B.
Borelli.
Brozovic.
Oh, Brozovic.
He had 1 year left on his contract. We could have got in, and he signed a new deal. We could have got in and just got him for decent money.
I know there's it might be a little bit controversial. It might not be. Michael Edwards, who was sporting director at Liverpool, who's obviously had a hit with every single signing. He's available at the minute. Whether that's something they look at, I don't know.
Paul Mitchell was available.
Again, I just don't think they'll bring one in. I think the places are filled at the minute for the guys who are running it, and they're too egotistical to sit back and say, right, I'll do this job. We'll bring in a proper guy to do that. I just think that's just how it's going to work, unfortunately. There's 2 last things I want to end on before we head off. Just very quick thing here. So United financial results 2022, commercial up 11%, broadcasting was down 15%, match day up 1,400%, total revenue up 18%, and net debt is up to 22%, which isn't surprising. And then the last one, I saw a thing as well. Sam mentioned dividends before. United paid 33.6 million out in dividends to shareholders in the year June 30 to 2022. It tells you everything you need to know about the club.
Money. That's all United's good for the Glazers. Just money.
Exactly. Right, guys, that concludes the show for today. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video. Check us out on social media and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Sam, thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Just shout out, the chat has been banging today. Like, lots of people. I'm sorry I didn't get to read your comments. I did put a lot of them I put them on screen. So if I didn't read them out, I apologize, but I did put a lot of them on screen. Appreciate the support. I hope you guys, the new people, I've seen some new people in there, so I hope you come back for future videos. We appreciate the support. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. I second that. And Adam, it's been a pleasure as always, bringing your bubbly Irish self. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on again. Hopefully you'll see my face a bit more now.
Absolutely. And Severe, let me know your skincare routine when we get off the camera,
yeah?
Appreciate you, mate.
Yeah.
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you in the next one. We'll be live tomorrow, same time, 6:30. Take care of yourselves. Peace.